Hey, everybody, welcome back. And guess what? It's kind of a funny thing. We've got pending sales that are up, seasonally normal, but they seem to be going more sideways. Well, that's better than going down. We're going to go over the metrics. Let's get on with it. Okay, so a lot of folks are thinking that, hey, is the market actually doing relatively well? Well, I can honestly tell you that a number of the buyers that we're working with and sellers basically are saying, oh my gosh, things are going off the market super fast. You got to be a little bit more active. We're seeing more multiple offers, all seasonally normal, and with the one caveat that rates have continued to come down. And that is probably one of the biggest benefactors that we have seen, and that is rates coming down. The seasonality is normal. Excuse me. It's totally normal. The biggest, again, attributor to the multiple offers to seeing a lot more aggressive activity, without a doubt, are rates. So if we pop this up, we take a look at this. Pending home sales crack a half-hearted smile, well, amid longer-term depression, meaning that, hey, for the last 2 years, it has been very, very flat. Okay, there is nothing exciting that's going on. And in fact, as we take a look at everything that's happened over the last 2 years, it's been more sideways than anything else. Now, here's the benefit. It hasn't gone down. We saw, anywhere between 4 and 6% appreciation last year. This year, we're anticipating 6 to 8% appreciation. Yes, there are some companies out there with larger head sheds than ours that are saying that, hey, we're going to see like a negligible appreciation, that we're going to see only seasonal increase and then it's going to fall off. I'm not sure I agree with that, because our inventory is so low. We do buck the trend in a lot of areas other than, I should say we do buck the trend in a lot of areas. We, however, seem to do pretty well. We have better staying power than most of the West Coast as far as California goes and parts of Oregon. And a lot of that's just because we have a very broad employment base. So we're not seeing much pushback, except for in some of the outlying areas with more unique homes that are not inside the box. Pretty much normal stuff. All right. So if we actually come back and we take a look, it says the National Association of Realtors, their pending home sales index is showing signs that, basically not yet returned to existing home sales, but the last 2 years, which has been relatively flat, well, they say that that's going to be the key blame for a lot of things that are going along, a lot of metrics. The biggest one being the mortgage rates in 2022. And that's where we saw that massive swing, right? So in 2022, the Fed stopped buying mortgage-backed securities. In fact, added more to the inventory levels that were available. That drove down bond rates. Mortgage rates almost took a vertical climb. That was a very monumental moment with a lot of people, because we went from mid to low fives to almost 8 in a very short window. And that's again because mortgage rates are traded online, and that is what dictates mortgage-backed securities. All right, so not delving into that one anymore. Let's delve into some of our news. So let's see here. We have pending home sales crack a half-hearted smile. We already went through that. Bottom left, new home sales should come with a warning. What they're talking about there, and we're going to hit on this a little bit later, is that, listen, there's a lot of incentives being offered. New home construction is still there. There is a little bit of what we would continue to say a sideways action with new construction over the last 2 years. Hasn't been a lot of upward momentum, but again, it hasn't come down. And in our area, we don't expect that. Some of the tariffs are going to have a small impact on that. I'm going to get one of our reps from Plywood Supply who actually has said, yes, hey, let's do a video. And we're going to talk about some of this. That'll be a fun little podcast for you guys. All right. So popping back into this, mortgage rates again came down. That's why it is green. And then mortgage rates modestly higher as an average, but some lenders are a little bit lower. And you might say, George, what the heck does that mean? So remember, lenders work on a profit point. There's the Fed rate, and what the Fed rate dictates what banks lend to each other, HELOCs, home equity line of credits, your car loans, your credit cards. But that's also what banks borrow at, so that they can get an idea of, hey, here's how much we're going to charge because this is a profit point we're going to want to have. Some of them, because there's a lot of volatility out there, a lot of competition to get business, that some of them are shrinking that profit margin to have better rates. In fact, what was it? Wells Fargo? I think it was Wells Fargo. They had 30-year financing that was like at 6.3%. Okay, well, that's a third less than some of the other folks are offering because they're willing to take the cream of the crop to get better clientele and write those mortgages. Why? Well, they're safer, so they give them better rates. Now, remember, it's based on risk. So the less risk you give the bank, the better the rate they give you. So keep that in mind. All right. Now, when we head over and we start taking a look at what Freddie Mac is doing, when we talk about rates, here we go. So we've got Freddie Mac, who's doing our mortgage 7-year or 7-day running average here. You can see that we're both down year over year and the 1 week change. Par pricing for these guys was 6.65. It's just a tad bit lower than that today. Now, that is super important because as we roll into the metrics and what we're seeing as rates keep coming down, even though at the bottom chart you can see market times have been heading up, both month over month, which is the center green, and year to date. That is super important because, well, as we head over to the next chart here, we take a look at what's coming on market and what's going off. Listen, new on market was 1,019. Went pended was 1,060. So that means that we took off more homes than what came on market in the average of the last 7 days. That is, again, seasonally normal, and we'll see these numbers continue to rise during midweek. They tend to drop off, which, again, statistically, that's normal. All right. Now, what's important about days on market? Super important to understand. Even though we have more buyer activity, and this is where the logic hammer comes in for you guys. We have more homes coming on market. We have buyer activity that is increased. We have pending home sales that are going up. We have mortgage rates that are coming down. And if your home is sitting on market, you might be overpriced. Just saying. There are some circumstances where that is not the case. It is, some of our more luxury type market, or if you have a very unique type of home where it needs to be on market longer. That is a little bit different. But the average house and the average community and the average in the box, those should be going off the shelf in 7 to 10 days. That's going to give you your highest number of dollars in your pocket. So keep that in mind. Now, is that a dead set, hey, 100% accurate? Well, it's actually 99.9% out of the time accurate, which is important for you to understand that if you want more dollars, you need to be off the market sooner. The longer you're on the market, the less dollars are in your pocket, and the longer, okay, or I should say the more concessions you're going to give up because you're going to be longer on the market. All right. Now, if we pop over here and we take a look at the Northwest MLS and what the heck is going on here. So when we take a look at the right side of this, look, inventory is up 13.3% year over year as far as newer homes on market, 35% up, which is totally normal since we were super low. But look at our pendants. Pendants are up year to date at 7.6%. And then, of course, for the same month, almost 17%. Why is that important? Listen, again, seasonally normal, and we will anticipate seeing this all the way up until about the middle of May. What happens in the middle of May? You guess it. We have the vacation trifecta. So a week after that, or the fourth week in May, people's minds, they go elsewhere. They're getting ready for a long 3-day weekend. The weather's getting a heck of a lot nicer. We're going to start to see people's attention just absolutely deviate until after the July 4th weekend. Why? Because, again, you got nicer weather, you got kids getting out of school, you got people wanting to go out and do things, spring is in the air, all that fun stuff, and they're out doing it. Buying a home becomes less important. Now, that changes after the July 4th weekend. Then we get our resurgence of buyers that'll come in because they're going to secure their home for the winter. They're going to, they need to be placed for kids getting back in school. They're focused now. It's summer's already here. They've already kind of partaked in it. Now it's good weather. Hey, let's go out and look at homes and, let's get ready for our next step. Totally seasonally normal. Boom. Comes to an end about the second, third week of August. Why? You guessed it. We have another Labor Day weekend, another 3-day weekend. Mindsets go out. We got vacations that are happening. We've got seasons that are changing. So people are going to go out and spend more time on the weekends because they know the snow is about to fly. And then it kicks back up again first part of October, and then we'll continue to about mid-December. So what are we expecting to see? Everything's going to be unicorns and rainbows until the middle of May. Just kidding. There are no such thing as rainbows or unicorns in real estate. Just saying, it's a pretty steady eddy. It's been a consistent pattern for the last 33 years of my career. And with that being said, we'll just kind of keep the perspective of make sure that you are either on market or sold or close to it by the middle of May. Just saying. All right, moving on. If we take a look at our next chart, which is new construction, that didn't pop up right. There we go. New construction. Here we go. Now, new construction, like the others, super flat, right? Super flat. In fact, there it is. Totally expected. And when we take a look at our numbers, though, their numbers are doing really well also. They're almost at 17%. Everything is rolling forward. Everything appears to be doing what it needs to do. The biggest difference with new construction is that as rates come down, they're able to offer some different incentives, but rates don't become as important. The influx of new homes, or I would say resale homes coming onto the market, absolutely takes away the buyer attention to new construction. So their ability to attract and bring you into their plats, it changes. And so there's a lot of incentives they're willing to offer, and they're not really willing to justify or can justify adjusting price because they have to maintain plat control. They need to make sure that they have a stable plat pricing, not only for future sales, but the folks who just bought their home, right? All right, makes sense. All right, now, when we move over and we talk about bank-owned homes, again, super, super boring. Why? Because, well, first of all, we don't have that many. And if you take a look at this, there's a smattering of homes is all we have. And a smattering is all we've ever had for the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years. And when you take a look at these numbers, sure, look at that. Our pendants are up way. We're only talking about a couple of homes here. When you have such tiny numbers, any number you add to it is a significant number. And so when we consider our REOs a great investment, okay, no. Why? There's so few of them, and because we're in the top 5 sweet spots across the United States, they do paint, carpet, vinyl, they get it back on the market, and they get it sold. And they get it sold for a good value. Why? Because our market is doing incredibly well. There are other options to get better values if you're looking for a deal. So if you want some more of those, just let us know. We'll fire them off to you, and you can run with them as you wish. In the meantime, if you have any questions, hey, post it down below. Smash that subscribe button. Let us know that you like it. We love responding to you guys, both online and in email. If you have any questions, again, let us know. Easter's coming up, so make sure that you get all those peeps out there that you need. And for those that don't know what a peep is, it is a marshmallow. It is probably the most disgusting marshmallow you'll ever eat, but my mother used to love them. So bless her heart. In the meantime, you guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.